Hello everyone and welcome to King County at your service. I'm James Lynch. How do you get kids who have gotten into trouble back on the right track? It doesn't always require a judge and a courtroom. As Kimberly Hill tells us, King County is using a new therapeutic justice program that is defining justice in a whole new way.
Teenagers and young adults, they all push boundaries. And unfortunately, sometimes they make bad choices that can get them into trouble. But for low-level offenses, a courtroom might not be the best place to change behavior.
The U.S. has 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prisoners. That's wrong. There's something wrong there.
Michael and Julia are part of a restorative justice program in King County called Restorative Mediation. Instead of going to court, youth offenders sit down for a face-to-face mediation session with a person impacted by their crime.
In restorative justice, you bring together the people who are involved and they talk about the issue and you get to the root of why it happened, what were the motivations behind it, and what can we do to actually fix or repair the damage that was caused by it.
And the idea is to just go through what happened and get the two sides to talk to each other and discuss kind of as a group what both sides need to heal.
The group includes an adult mediator, a member of the community, and a youth mediator.
The way the youth mediators balance the power in a room is amazing. I've seen many times the expressions and tension of the youth offenders drop when they see another person their age.
The goal of a youth mediator, I think, is really to get to the emotions of what happened and to make everyone in the room see everyone else as people who are fallible, who make mistakes, but who are ultimately good and want to make amends.
That's what happened in a recent shoplifting case.
There was a shoplifting case with a box store, and the asset protection officer agreed to meet with the youth offender and her mother.
While I could tell that she felt uncomfortable around him, I think having me there as someone who's also female, someone who's also her age, that she could look to, talk to, relate to, it really just helped de-escalate the situation. It helped her calm down and it helped her talk about what had actually happened and what had brought her to making that decision.
And the loss prevention officer talked about, struggle. He said, I've had to deal with things that I wish my teenage children hadn't done either. So there was a connection there.
It was an opportunity to have her work through these issues.
Victims also get to express their feelings, talk about impacts, and help craft a path forward.
We had a case where it was a combination of community service, picking up outside of a store, and a letter reflecting back on the work that they had done. Saying a rote, "I'm sorry I did that to you," in court is a lot different than having the courage and taking the opportunity to sit across the table from somebody and talk to them.
It makes sense to me to talk it out and figure out what's wrong with the youths, why they are doing what they're doing. I think it's humane, I think it's just.
How many times do we get to just kind of slide outside the system and come up with a solution that's more personalized and has more impact?
It is really pretty amazing the amount of information you can find with your phone or mobile device these days. But you do need a high-speed internet network to access that data. As John Wilson tells us, for local public agencies, that network is King County's iNet.
Schools, first responders, hospitals. They all need fast, reliable access to information. Data that can be transported by a state-of-the-art fiber optic network like King County's iNet.
It's a huge advantage that we have today is instant access to information. And the foundation of that around the county with our customers is iNet. Access to maps, access to information, fast information. And when you're talking about public safety, a few seconds can mean lives.
The King County Institutional Network, or iNet, is a 2,000-mile fiber optic network. It connects more than 300 schools, libraries, fire stations, and other public facilities in our region. Through iNet, King County libraries are able to offer free internet and computer services, opening the door for many people to digital access and opportunity. iNet is a reliable network for voice, data, and video services, something that many students in our region have come to expect.
All the students in many of the districts have computers. They take them home. They do their homework at home, and at school they're constantly on their devices, looking up things, watching videos. It's part of the curriculum today. And without that internet access and that wireless access in the school districts, it can be a real problem.
iNet was established in 1996 through a cable TV franchise agreement with then TCI and Viacom. The county received capital grants to build the network. Today, it's funded through customer fees and capital equipment support from the cable companies. But it's more than just fiber.
There's a wide variety of switches and routers and equipment that goes into maintaining the network and ensuring that we meet our service level agreements with our customers so that they get the bandwidth and the capacity that they're paying for.
iNet is a huge regional asset for both us and for our partners, our regional partners around the county. But of course we don't stop there. We have to continue to innovate and we have to continue to grow. And one of our latest innovations is a collaboration with the Community Connectivity Consortium, where we're building a whole new ring of fibre around Lake Washington and down into Auburn and Federal Way. And that's going to enable us to reach many more organisations that we couldn't reach previously. And we'll continue to expand and grow on that basis.
King County's iNet, connecting our region.
Sometimes we take Lake Washington and Puget Sound for granted. But did you know that before King County Metro was created, untreated wastewater was dumped directly into the water? As Kimberly Hill tells us, it's a legacy that may just surprise you.
King County is one of the most scenic places in the world, with lush green forests, fast-running rivers, and sparkling bodies of water. But in the mid-20th century, our waterways were in trouble. Raw sewage and inadequately treated wastewater flowed directly into Lake Washington, the Duwamish Waterway, and Puget Sound. And as the area grew, it became a serious public health threat, closing beaches and threatening the health of people, fish, and wildlife.
Water quality in Lake Washington was really deteriorating. The lake was turning green. We had 20-some treatment plants around it at that point in time. They were all discharging to the lake with minimal amounts of treatment, and there was a sense of, what do we do? You know, we can't continue doing this and growing as a region and living the Northwest lifestyle here without doing something different.
That something different turned out to be a campaign in the 1950s to address a regional water problem regionally, despite political boundaries. It was led by legendary citizen activist and Seattle attorney Jim Ellis. He advocated for creating a single metropolitan government with the authority to do what individual cities and municipalities could not do alone.
He got everybody's attention. He really, really felt strongly that it was time for this region to take on problems of the region, and he was dedicated to making that happen.
In 1958, King County voters created Metro and developed a regional wastewater treatment system. It was a monumental leap forward in cleaning up local waterways. Today, King County is an innovative clean water enterprise. Not only does it clean millions of gallons of wastewater each year, it's prioritizing the recovery of valuable resources created by wastewater treatment, such as recycled water, biogas, and loop biosolids. To make loop, the biosolids are separated from the water and sent to big heated tanks called digesters. There, the solids are broken down, making renewable energy and creating a rich natural fertilizer and soil conditioner called loop. It's a never-ending resource that enriches the soil to keep it healthy and productive. King County began recycling loop as a fertilizer in 1973, but it really took off with the help of a brand new partnership. In the 1990s, Jim Ellis, the same citizen activist that helped create Metro, helped create the Mountains to Sound Greenway Trust.
The land from Seattle to Ellensburg, the conservation efforts, the recreational efforts, the vibrant communities, the forests that are there. Having that legacy this close to such a metropolitan area is amazing. So we worked collaboratively between DNR and King County to purchase forest lands, mostly along the I-90 corridor, to conserve them from development and manage them as long-term working forests.
King County is still a big part of keeping the Greenway green through its continual work restoring local forests using biosolids.
It helps retain moisture, it helps the trees grow faster, it creates a healthier understory, all things that are good as a part of a forest.
Today, King County operates 5 wastewater treatment plants that treat about 200 million gallons of wastewater a year. They produce 115,000 wet tons of biosolids. That's more than 3,600 trucks full of Luke biosolids each year. It's a complex, innovative partnership that's protecting our public health and preserving our majestic natural resources.
You know, we can all learn so much from the past, and now there's a new way to open an entire treasure chest of local history at the King County Archives. Matt Samsel has the key.
It may not look like much on the outside, but inside, you'll find treasures dating back to the pioneer days.
Joe and Jane were always together, said Joe to Jane. I love them with a soul. Let's go to that beautiful...
Welcome to the King County Archives, a public repository of over 20,000 cubic feet of county records, some dating back to the 1800s.
Records that people are required to or choose to record with the county to document legal transactions, property records, marriage records. So those are really, the county is holding in trust these records that belong to the public.
Just take a look at the handwriting on some of these birth records, or these marriage records. This is a jail record from the 1930s. And of course, there are deeds of property. They might look like something from a Harry Potter movie, but they're still very relevant today.
Property ownership is a really big research topic, and sort of, you know, there's a railroad and an easement and a bridge, and it's changed hands over time, and people have to go back 100 years to trace sort of the ownership and the history. And those are researched every day. We have people conducting chain of ownership histories on property, and so they have to go all the way back.
Check out these original plats of South Lake Union. It looks a little different today. Then there are the historic photographs.
Love will keep us together. To live in
This is how they used to build roads.
There is no score in the game. It's third down.
Do you remember the Kingdome?
Over the middle and completes it to number 81, Darrell Turner, for the touchdown.
This is a blueprint of a King County ferry from 1915, and so the county at the time operated ferries in Lake Washington, and so we have the records of that program.
The archives hold the records of all county departments, from the legislative branch to public health.
There's some public health records here. This is a copy of an image from 1951 of a public health nurse visiting a family. These materials are from the county's HIV/AIDS prevention project, which was established in 1985 in response to the AIDS epidemic.
It's also a history of different formats.
The history of video technology from U-matic all the way up to Laserdisc, and then of course floppies.
And here's the best news. A new online search tool is making it easier for you to see this amazing collection. Not everything is digitized, but you can look through the catalogs and make an appointment to come in. To find out more, visit kingcounty.gov/archives.
Do you live outside a city or town and have questions about your cable service? Well, as John Wilson tells us, this King County office can help you out.
Staying connected is important to most of us, especially if you live outside the city boundaries. That's one reason why 50,000 people in King County's unincorporated areas subscribe to cable. This King County office makes sure that the service goes well.
King County Office of Cable Communications, how can I help you?
Most citizens don't have a very good experience with the cable companies. So it's great for them to have somebody else to talk with and to know that they can get their problems resolved through us.
Yes, we can help you with that. Can you tell me your address, please?
We can help you possibly get your bill reduced. We could tell you where to return your equipment. We could help you get connection if you don't have it currently. When you call us and you have these complaints, we are generally responding back to you within 24 hours.
It is very important. We are the advocate for 50,000 of the subscribers to a cable company, and we get to be their ambassadors to help them negotiate for the services that they need.
The county's cable office negotiates and enforces franchise agreements with the cable companies for their use of rights-of-way in unincorporated King County.
We are enforcing the franchise agreements that are tied to the fact that they use the county's land or rights of way to put up their systems and operate.
In return, the cable companies pay rights-of-way fees, money that goes into the county's general fund to help support key services like public health, public safety, and our court system.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
The franchise agreement also helps support public education and government, or the PEG channels, stations like King County TV, the Voice of Vashon, Puget Sound Access, and the Seattle Community Access Channel. These channels are all dedicated to keeping you connected with your government and your community.
King County TV gives you a front row seat to government in action. From the comfort of your home, you can see legislation introduced, discussed, and acted upon.
Welcome to King County at your service.
We also show you King County programs that impact everyone's lives.
You can get a better idea of the services we provide, how we're doing, some of the major issues that are out there, and how to engage with us, which is very important as well.
Our PEG providers keep our citizens connected and informed on what's going on. For example, Voice of Vashon, Vashon Island. Those citizens need to know and be informed on if there's a ferry delay, if something's going on the island that's going to affect their commute. This way, citizens are able to connect right into Voice of Vashon, the TV station, look to see what the updates are. This benefit is provided for by our cable TV franchise.
Protecting that agreement and advocating for cable subscribers is what this office is all about.
We have staff here that know the agreement and the billing inside and out.
Do you by chance have a copy of your Comcast bill in front of you?
Customer service is our top priority each day at the cable office. We want to make sure that our customers are happy, that they're receiving the service that they're paying for, and that if they have any questions at all, we can answer those questions that they're not being answered by the cable company.
Are you trying to eat healthy meals and stay on a budget? Well, have we got a class for you. For most busy parents, preparing delicious, nutritious meals for their family quickly and affordably is a top priority.
That one? No, this one. That one?
It can be a daunting challenge for any parent, but is even more difficult for those who are part of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. In other words, they use food stamps to help feed their family. Now they can get help from the King County Department of Public Health about how best to do that.
We felt that we really need to do something about it, go out there, do that one-on-one interaction with the community and actually educate them and help them, use those SNAP benefits to the max.
The program is called Eat Right When Money's Tight. It is sponsored by the King County Department of Public Health.
This class helps people that have limited options to, buy and shop the right type of foods to have a healthy eating habits and still being on a budget.
The program consists of 4 separate classes. The first is all about planning.
And if you're the type of person who doesn't like to plan or doesn't plan at all, just doing 1 planned meal per week, that should be a good start.
The second class is all about shopping.
Healthy eating habits start in the store, because those are the foods that you're taking home with you, and those are the foods that you're gonna eat, cook, and feed your family.
The third class is about saving money, checking unit prices and comparing name brands versus store brands. Sometimes there is very little difference in taste, but a big difference in price.
If you save 50 cents per one item when you go and pay your bill, you're gonna end up saving a lot of money, because you don't only buy one item, you buy a lot.
In the final class, students learn how to cook the meal and set the table.
We have steps like, where is your protein, which is one of the food groups? Where are your vegetables? Where are your grains? So how to follow easy steps to make healthy, easy, and affordable meals.
Valuable lessons easily passed from parent to child for a healthful life. Thank you so very much for joining us for King County at your service. If we can be of service to you, visit us online at kingcounty.gov. I'm James Lynch. We'll see you next time.